John Deere 1300 series axles. Let's talk about pricing. So when a customer calls for a complete axle, they never call because the final drive's bad. They call them because they got differential ring and pinion problems. So this complete axle, if you had to buy everything new, is $50,000. You can't buy it as an assembly from Deere. So we use their same pricing methodology that off of $50,000, if we're going to save you 20 to 30% of list, that price would be anywhere from 35,000 to 40,000. So we're going to start on the higher side because one, we get a bit of a premium for having these items on the shelf because it helps you get back. It's the fastest repair, period. No matter what's wrong with it, it's just the fastest repair. So at 80%, we're at 40,000. My math can be off, so don't beat me up over that. But at 40,000, it's still an expensive axle, and you can you can repair your axle for less. There's no doubt, because your final drives are typically not bad. You just got problems here. So here's where our core rebate comes in. So our core rebate on this particular axle, there's a $5,000 core rebate and a $5,000 core rebate for both final drives. So that's $10,000 off, so automatically you're at 30, assuming that they're good. So the next is a $10,000 core rebate on the center section based on what's wrong with it, or based on core condition. So the worse your core is, the less rebate. We're trying to price this around repair cost. If it would cost you more to repair yours, it's going to cost you more to buy ours because you get less of a rebate. We think that makes sense. And that's part of this video series, is that we're trying to help customers understand up front without having to go through this 10-minute session every time. You know, and that's been a little bit, it's changed for us, so that's a little difficult on our end, and no one else on our side really does what we're doing here, so it's educational, I guess. We're trying to educate our customer. So anyway, a $10,000 rebate, and we know we got problems here. If we said that it's half, well then now we're at a net cost of $25,000. So now at $25,000, you're getting into, if you have major issues, you know, this, your ring and pinion differential is probably going to cost you probably $4,000 a piece. So there's $8,000. That's no labor. This main housing, if it's bad, $7,500 for those. Just look those up. So that's $15,000 plus labor and downtime. And then from a dealer's point of view, your dealer's going to want to, for him to warranty this work, he's going to want to go through, you know, he's going to treat it as the axle. So if he pulls your final drives off and puts them back on and doesn't do anything and they leak, he thinks you're going to blame him, which probably will happen. And so he's just going to force you to go through them. So now at the, where was I, 15,000. So now if you got to go through the final drives at 2,500 aside, now you're at 20,000. If you got pivot issues, anyway, it adds up fairly quick. So you could have the same price point, but have a 2-week downtime in the shop, waiting on parts or waiting on the guy to get to it. Where here, potentially your net is 25,000 anyway, then we ship it to you and you have it in 2 to 3 days, depending on where you're located. So that's how our core rebate works. The better your core, the more money you're going to get back, which means your less repair costs. The worse your core, the more your cost is going to be, because you're going to get less back as a rebate. We think that makes perfect sense. If it doesn't, and you don't understand that, I'd be glad to go over with you. But you know, our price is our price. We don't. I don't want to say we don't negotiate. It's not what I mean. But the point is that we're dialed in on the pricing based off of what a new one costs. If you can get one in a salvage yard for 10 grand, just go buy it. It's not a problem. You know, we're not trying to compete with Joe's wrecking yard, you know, and we would have a used axle, you know, but even with our used axles, they're going to be certified. We're going to know that they're good. We're going to pull oil scans on the final drives and the differential. We're going to scope them. There's no reason to take them apart if they're clean. If they have a clean oil scan and we scope them, there is no reason to take that axle apart. There's nothing wrong with it. So we do have some lower price options, but when you continue to ask for a reman, then that's a price point that you're asking for, and it's just not going to be cheap on these pieces. So if you think about it from your repair cost, with less downtime, paying a little bit of a premium, that's our strategy. We can help you out. Let us know.